Teachers, while the community takes ownership of the infrastructure services. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra said this yesterday during the Special Parliamentary Committee on Children and Youth Wellbeing in Port Moresby. Since the endorsement of early childhood education in 2020, teachers' payment has been an ongoing issue. This has now been resolved through the approval of the Cabinet in March 2026 to pay the teachers based on a submission by the Education Department. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra made this announcement during the Special Parliamentary Committee on Children and Youth Wellbeing in Port Moresby yesterday. Dr. Kombra said school infrastructure, teachers' accommodation, and other necessities will be met by the community. He said 12 schools have been registered under the early childhood education, with approximately 180 teachers trained to teach. Dr. Kombra said every early childhood school will now be registered under the church, with the objective of teaching children godly principles at an early age. Committee Chairman Powers Parkup strongly supports the call for churches to establish early childhood schools in their respective churches because the congregation meets on either Saturday nor Sunday for church services, while the rest of the week, the church grounds are free. Turning abroad, the Australian dollar rose to its highest level in 4 years after strong job numbers from the ABS raised the market's expectations of an interest rate hike next month.
Well, the good news is that Australia's jobs market is still solid, with unemployment steady at 4.3%, while an extra 18,000 lucky workers found work last month. But the bad news is the jobs market is expected to get a little bit weaker in the year ahead, as the higher price of petrol and other inputs means more businesses will have to make tough choices, like sacking employees to cut costs. Now, off the back of those job numbers, the odds of the Reserve Bank lifting interest rates next month have risen from 64 to 73%. From the RBA's point of view, fewer people in work means less spending power. And a rate hike to inflict economic pain is really the only thing it can do to try and bring inflation back under control. So the idea of higher borrowing costs from next month knocked the ASX back a little, with big gains in local tech stocks failing to offset sharp falls in the shares of the major banks. But overseas, totally different story. Judging from the huge gains across some of these stock markets, you'd think the war is already over. Wall Street's main index, the S&P 500, has not only clawed back all its losses since the Iran war, it's now at a record high. And America's tech index, the Nasdaq, is higher than it's ever been. This is being driven by big bets on tech and AI stocks, which people are expecting to do well, even if the war drags on longer than expected. In commodities, the price of gold has rebounded above $4,800 an ounce, while oil prices are still below $100 a barrel. So more signs that markets are betting the war will somehow end soon. And finally, the Aussie dollar has risen to 71.8 US cents, which is the highest it's been against the greenback since the middle of 2022. And that's finance.
The Prime Minister has flown home early from his Asian tour to visit the damaged Geelong oil refinery. He flew home with a range of new deals, including 100 million litres of diesel from Brunei and South Korea, on top of extra fertilizers purchases and a meat trade expansion with Malaysia. The ABC's Global Affairs editor Laura Tingle sat down with the Prime Minister.
You've made a series of announcements about extra or guaranteed access to fuels and fertilisers on this trip. How do you tote up the gains from your travels?
What we know is that it is making a difference. So no government can say that they can fully protect their country from the impact that this is having right around the world. What we can promise to do is to make every effort, both domestically and internationally, to shield Australians from the worst impact of this global crisis. And so today's announcement of 100 million litres of fuel, and particularly being diesel, which is what we most need, $50 million litres from Korea and 50 million from Brunei in 2 ships, as a direct result of the work that we put in place through Export Finance Australia, will make a substantial difference. Now, there's more to do, but what that shows is that we got the policy settings right when we established that and did the deals with Viva and with Ampol, and now we've done it as well with 2 smaller suppliers.
So everyone in the world is now scrambling for fuel, and you can't just magic it up. Where has the extra fuel come from? Are you prepared to source petrol from Iran or Russia?
What we're doing, our sanctions remain in place. We have sourced the fuel from Brunei and Korea, and that will make a difference. In addition to that, we've done work with Singapore, with Brunei and Malaysia, but we're also talking with Korea. I've spoken with the Chinese Premier. We're speaking to Japan. We're engaged in our region, and as well we're engaged with Indonesia. I had contact with Indonesia today about further issues that might be advanced in coming days. So we're working right across the board, whether it's diesel and other forms of fuel, whether it be fertiliser, the products that we need in Australia. We're working with our friends and achieving results and outcomes as a result of really the investment that we've put in over the last 4 years, building those relationships.
You're having to basically buy from non-traditional markets, aren't you?
Well, we have traditional relationships, of course, with Korea and Brunei, but what this is on top of our existing contracted supplies. This is off the spot market, and by underwriting that supply, we're able to encourage the private sector to engage with the confidence that that underwriting from government brings.
Back home in sports, the PNG Kickboxing Federation sanctioned semi-professional tournament, the Last Man Standing, is set for this Saturday at the Sir John Guy Stadium, Port Moresby. The PNG Kickboxing Federation launched the event yesterday. The kickboxing semi-professional tournament, dubbed the Last Man Standing, sanctioned by PNG Kickboxing Federation, will set the ring alight with 12 teams participating. More than 20 fighters are expected to fight in 5 divisions. The Last Man Standing will witness top kickboxing talents across the city. PNG KBF President Stanley Nandex is anticipating a strong fight from both international and amateur fighters, as this event will qualify a few fighters for representative events. The event starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday. PNG International and PNG Hunters winger Elijah Roltinga is back in the thick of an action after a significant leg injury that ended his 2024 season. He earned his starting spot again through hard work, resilience and continued development during his time away from the field.
Hunters winger Elijah Roltinga has made significant strides to earn his spot back in the team after last year's devastating season-ending leg injury. Though it was tough watching from the sidelines throughout 2025 season, Roltinga is excited to be back and acknowledged God for his healing and the Hunters medical staff for their great support.
Yeah, it took me so long to come here, but work on my injury and coming back from the injury, but I thank God for his healing upon me. Just want to thank that medical staff, Hendricks and her group, to stand beside me, help me on my rehabs like Lawrence and the rehab group. Just want to thank them. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's a great feeling. Like I've been out for a while and it's good to be back with my boys.
Rotinga made his return to the Host Plus Cup in the loss against Brisbane Tigers last week. He's expressed confidence that the boys can bounce back this week against Ipswich Jets.
It's a must win for us this weekend because we have lost many games and we need to turn things around this week. So we're looking forward to win this game and turn things around.
Rotinga reiterated Coach Paul Atron's message this week, which was to go back to the process and work hard to get back into the winner's circle. With the Rugby League World Cup coming up end of the year, Rotinga said he has set some short goals to get himself fully fit after injury, but that would be his ultimate goal this year.
Been improving from the previous games, so yeah, now we have to just stick on our process and turn things around, like I've said, win this game this week. Long-term goal, but for now I need to just get back to the best that I have been. So yeah, working on getting back from my best there.
Rotinga is wary of the challenge presented by the new boys coming through the season, but embracing it, adding it's good to have competitions within the team. He is calling on the Hunters fans to come out and support the team on Saturday. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
In Port Moresby, the stage is set for the OFC Under-16 Women's Championship 2026 qualifier. Cook Islands, American Samoa and host Papua New Guinea will compete for a single spot in the championship to be held in Honiara, Solomon Islands this September. American Samoa has arrived early, giving players valuable time to adjust to local conditions. The Cook Islands are confident, with head coach Tuka Tisam highlighting the strong bonds formed within the team. Meanwhile, PNG, led by coach Susan Stephen, is ready to make the most of home advantage and is expecting strong backing from local fans. And that ends the midday news. I'll bring you more stories at 6 p.m. Bulletin.